So how far are you willing to take it? How far are you willing to go? What's up, family? What's happening? What's going on with you? 6:30 Thursday. Trying to get a little sharper. What's going on with you? Welcome to the Anti-Negativity Network. Back here again to make it do what it do. And so, as always, I'm excited to be here. Excited to be able to do this again, another Thursday. And so, let's just do what we do. Okay. So, I'm by myself again this week, but hey, shout out to my wife because she's still here with me and, in spirit. But I love when she's with me. I like when she's right beside me, holding it down with me. But, but we got to do it. We got to do it because this is what we're called to do on every Thursday. So, let's just dive into it. Okay, here we go. As we always do on the count of three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. All right. So, let's go ahead and just dive into it. Like, what up, Tony? What up, big bro? What's happening with you, man? Love you, man. Appreciate you. Yo, I'm hanging out by the water. A little bit of water, right? A little bit of water. But y'all know I love being by the water. So I'm in my element right here. So, all right. So look, let's do this. So like last week we talked about Isaac being born to Abraham and Sarah. And then we talked about that whole drama last week with the blended family situation going on with Abraham and Sarah and then what's the young lady's name? The one that other had the baby. God dog it. Why am I drawing a blank? I'm only drawing a blank only because I'm trying to talk about it in front of y'all right now. Hagar Ishmael. God dog it. I knew that. But anyway. So then y'all know you had that blended family situation going on and Sarah won't have it because Ishmael, you got to go. Hagar, take your son with you. You got to go. And then they got stuck out there in the woods. But because of the promise that God gave Abraham through his sons, Isaac and Ishmael, Ishmael couldn't die. Ishmael couldn't die. So what happened? God made a way. He gave him what he needed so that he can continue to live on, so that God's word had the promise that was on his life would come forth. The promise couldn't come forth if he did, right? So just know that your situation may look dead, but he made a promise to you. So if he made a promise to you, guess what? It got to happen. So let's go. Let's go make it do what it do. So get excited about the promise and know that it's going to come to pass, okay? All right. So your situation don't look right. No, it don't look right. It's looking a little upside down. You ain't sure what to do for tomorrow. You don't even know what to do, right? And it's driving you crazy. Sleepless nights, just tossing and turning. Don't know what to do. Don't know who to talk to. Just, what do I do? Because God, I'm not hearing from you. You're not moving on my behalf. God, where you at? I don't know what's going on. All this stuff. Y'all, come on. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All this stuff that be flooding us because we don't see it happening when we want to see it happen. It's not happening the way it should. I should have known last week what I'm doing this week, right? And God you ain't heard nothing from him, right? But just when you think it's about to crash and burn, there he is. As our Pastor Mama would say, at 11:59:59, there he is, stepping in right in the nick of time. So just know he got you. Just trust him. Just know that regardless, he's going to make sure you're good. Okay? He's going to make sure you're good. Okay? So you just got to trust. Okay? Just hold on. Just hold on a little bit longer. So now, speaking of trust, let's go ahead and jump into chapter 22, because Genesis chapter 22. Woo! This one right here. We want to talk about faith. You want to talk about trusting. You want to trust about believing in God and taking it to the very last moment. Yeah. This one right here, chapter 22. Abraham gets tested. His faith gets tested and his faith gets tested like like none other really. This one right here, I can be honest with you, it was a little tough to figure out how to talk about chapter 22 and make some correlation here, because in this situation right here, Abraham, from the very beginning, God called him, and he heard it. He heard it. Now this is the same Abraham that pimped out his wife a couple times, right? Because why? He didn't see God on that one. He didn't see God neither time. Neither time did he ask God, what should I do when I deal with Abimelech or when I deal with Pharaoh? He ain't seek God neither time. He went and did it on his own, and pretty much almost, well, he did jack it up, but God had to step in and fix it, right? So don't hate on Abraham, because we can fill in that blankets where we done been there, done that, and probably get ready to do it again. So don't hate on Abraham, but it's the same Abraham. But in this one right here, Abraham faith is tested. And the reason why I'm saying we can't hate on Abraham, because we can see ourselves in Abraham where one day our faith is a little shaken. And instead of seeking God, we go and try to handle on our own. And then there's sometimes God actually speaks to us. We hear it and we ready to do, and we actually do. We actually do it. Okay. And so, let me just talk about Ron Sims. Ron Sims can relate to that. I done had those moments where I ain't seek God. I try to do it on my own, or I try to make some things happen on my own, and it crashed and burned. And then there's sometimes that God say, hey, Ron, you want you to do X, Y, Z? I did X, Y, Z. And I got blessed for it. Okay. So hopefully I know you can relate. Okay. I know you can. Okay. Cause I ain't by myself. All right. You might not admit it, but I know you can relate, just like just what I just talked about. But anyway, so in this situation right here, Abraham, the same one that pimped out his wife a couple of times, the same one that has this promise over his life that he's going to be the father of many nations. That same Abraham. So God comes and says, let me test you. And from the very beginning, he calls him. He said, Abraham. Abraham heard him. Said, Father, I'm here. What's up? What's going on? And he tells him straight up, I want you to take your son and sacrifice him as a burnt offering. Whew, right there, guys. I can't say I can relate to that. I'm just talking Ron Sims now. I'm just talking Ron Sims. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pass that one right there. Right? But now understand this. This is a different era that we're talking about right here. This is kind of like in the beginning of time somewhat, right? And God is talking to Abraham. And Abraham don't even question it. The next morning he gets up, saddles his donkey up, get his two servants, get his son Isaac, and they make the trip to the mountain. So they get to a certain point and he tells the servants, look, y'all hold back. Me and Isaac will go up here to the mountain. We're going to worship God. And understand, sacrificing was a form of worship. Giving back to God, right? Sacrificing to God, right? So that was a form of worship for them. So they go to the mountain, and as they're walking up the mountain, I can only imagine what might be going through Abraham's mind, because it tells you right here in the very beginning, God told him, he's like, take your only son, the one that you love so much, and I want you to sacrifice him. Now, as a father, and anybody that know me, know how I am about my daughter. I don't know if I'm going to be able to have that same conversation or respond or even act in the same way Abraham did. I'm just being real with y'all, being honest with you. And so I'm thinking about that standpoint from Abraham. What's going through his mind? What is his heart feeling? What is his thoughts about what God has told him to do? And so then I also think about Isaac. So now as they walking up the mountain, Isaac turn around, look at his dad, say, Dad, look, we got the fire, we got all the stuff we need for the sacrifice. But where's the sheep that we gonna sacrifice? And he turns around, Abraham turns around, look at his son, he says, son, God will provide. So as they taking this walk now, Abraham already know what God had told him to do, but he can't share that with Isaac. He can't share that with his servants, right? So sometimes one of the things I got out of that, and hopefully you get the same thing. The first thing I want you to get out of this is that sometimes God is going to tell you to do some things that you're not going to be able to share. You're going to have to hold it. You're going to have to keep it to yourself. You're going to have to execute the plan, but you can't tell the other folk the plan. It's not going to make sense to them. They're not going to understand it. They're not going to agree with it. Okay? And then they'll take that and go tell some other folk, and now it's all messed up. So sometimes you're going to have to lock it down. Close your mouth. Some things you can't share. Some things you got to hold on to because God is entrusting you with it. He's trusting you with the direction he's giving you. So sometimes we're going to have to close our mouth. That might be a little difficult. Might be a little difficult, but you're going to have to find a way to keep your mouth closed in some of these situations because it's simply between you and God. This right here was between Abraham and God. So as they're walking up, Isaac is like, where the sheep? God told me, okay. So Isaac being loving his dad and trusting his dad, he's like, okay, all right. That's what you said is going to happen. That's what we're going to do. Let's keep going. So they finally get up there and everything is happening. And the scripture pretty much says that now we've gotten to the point where Abraham has gotten Isaac in a position where he's getting ready to sacrifice him. Again, I can only imagine what is going through Abraham's mind and what Isaac is thinking as he's about to. It didn't say in the Bible what he was thinking or what he was feeling or anything. It didn't even reference Isaac anymore. But I can only imagine. That's a tough piece right there. That's a tough piece. But the moral of this story that I want you to get, because what happened was Isaac is getting ready to make this move. I'm sorry, Abraham about to make the move because he's just following the direction that God gave him. And God said, hold up. The angel of the Lord, let me say that. The angel of God said, no, hold on. Abraham, I got you. Don't do it. Don't do it. We see that you truly will absolutely trust God with everything you got. If you're willing to trust God with your son, the one that you love the most, if you're willing to sacrifice him, then we know you all in. So I ask the question, how far are you willing to go to prove to God that you all in? How far are you willing to go to tell God, God, I trust you with everything I got? And now that Abraham has proven himself to God, that he's going to trust him with everything he got. Man, the father of all nations, that's Abraham. So for us, we're going to have to trust him. We're going to have to trust him. Because if you want greater, if you want more, if you want better, you're going to have to trust. You're going to have to trust him. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. I'm not going to say it's going to be comfortable. But you're going to have to find a way to go all in on trusting him. If you want what he has for you. If you really want to get through the frustrations you're going through right now, if you really want the blessings of God, you're going to have to do some trusting. Your faith is going to have to be tested. And you're going to have to fight through it. Fight through the discomfort, fight through the hurt, fight through the people looking at you, talking about you. You gotta. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's gonna be easy, guys. But you're gonna have to be all in if you really want what God has for you. And so this right here, chapter 22, I just want you to get out of it the fact that you're gonna have to trust God, and that sometimes him actually testing you. It's going to cause you to have to keep your mouth closed, not tell everybody what's going on. And you're just going to have to go ride it. You're going to have to ride it to the end. You're going to have to do that. Now, one other thing I want to touch on right here, because this also got me thinking about this. When it comes to, I want us to think about this too, because this is a common practice where someone has a baby and we take them to church and we have a baby dedication, right? Chapter 22 made me think about baby dedication right here. Because if you think about it, Isaac is somewhat of a miracle anyway. Because you look at the age of Sarah and Abraham when he was conceived and when he was born. And so that within itself was a miracle. But this action that Abraham took was an action of him dedicating Isaac to God. Now, he can't give Isaac to God because you can't give God what he already has. Isaac already belonged to God, right? But he entrusted Abraham to take care of Isaac and Sarah, even though Sarah had passed away. About to pass away. I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. But anyway, Abraham is basically telling God, I absolutely trust you with everything I have, including my child, the child that you have entrusted me with to help raise, to take care of. That child still belongs to you. So when we had a baby dedication, please understand what you're signing up for. You are publicly telling people, I am confirming that the child that has been entrusted to me by God ultimately belongs to God. I am just the one that's in charge of taking care of them here on earth. But the child actually belongs to God. So please understand what you're signing up for. Because the child really, all of us belong to God anyway. But when you stand before the church, that baby dedication, you are publicly telling folk, I acknowledge that this child belongs to God. I'm just the one that's in charge of making sure that they are taken care of here on this earth. And that you're going to lead them in the right way. And prayerfully, you lead them in a way that when they were old, they would not depart from, which means you get them connected to God from the very beginning. And you continuing to lead them to God. 22, chapter 22, Genesis. While we might not be able to take that word for word from a faith standpoint, but there's a whole lot we can get out of chapter 22. You're going to absolutely have to trust God if you want all that he has for you. Are you all in? How far are you willing to go to say, God, I absolutely trust you? How far are you willing to go to get what he has for you? I dare you to trust him, because I promise you, if you trust him, yeah, he's going to blow your mind. I'm going to see you next week at 6:30. I love you. Pray, plan, prepare, proceed. Go make it do what it do. Appreciate you. Love you. See you next week at 6:30.